Don't do the work, do this instead. Today I want to share with you what you really need to do to make the law of attraction work in your life. All right, welcome back. There are those who say that the law of attraction only works when there's action involved. I mean, the word action is included in the word law of attraction, right? It's the last 6 letters, ACTION. So I get it. And I've actually said that myself before. But what I would encourage you to do is to think a little bit differently about it, right? So most people might say, well, that's how the law of attraction works. And as any good lawyer will tell you, well, it depends, right? Or as any good accountant will say, well, it depends. Or as any good financial advisor will say, well, it depends, right? Anytime you're providing some sort of advice, the answer is usually a little bit of both, and it depends on the situation. And this is no different. So the way that the law of attraction truly works in your life is that, you choose the thing that you want. You get really clear on it and you decide that you're going to have it. And there may or may not be action for you to take. In some cases, you might need to just sit and wait and be patient and allow it to come into your life. And in other cases, there is action for you to take. But typically what's going to happen is it's going to look like inspired action. And inspired action looks just a little bit different from your brute force action or what you choose, the actions that you choose to take. Because the truth is you don't have to take action in order to track the things that you want in your life. I mean, a magnet doesn't walk around forcing paper clips to attach to it, right? A magnet simply attracts paper clips. But as always, there are still a lot of people who believe that they do have to do something. Otherwise, they'll be perceived as, lazy or like, oh, you're just one of them law of attraction people who you're just going to write down what you want and you're just going to sit in a room and think about it and you're not doing anything with your life. But here's the truth. The truth is that once you do enact the law of attraction in your life, you might be inspired to action and you might want to take action. You might realize that there's action that you actually want to take. So going back to the story of how I manifested my husband, if you haven't watched that video, I definitely suggest that you check it out now. Going back to that story, I literally decided to manifest my husband. I wrote down all of the things and qualities of him that I wanted and what I wanted to attract in my life, the way I wanted him to be and look and how I wanted to feel. And then my inspired action was to just start dating. And in the past, I wasn't really dating. I was just kind of like, he'll come whenever, I don't have to do anything. And that was true to an extent. But once I wrote down my requirements, the next thing I realized that I needed to do for my inspired action was to really refine my list. And in order to refine my list, I had to start dating. I was able to date and I realized, okay, maybe I don't want this thing and cross it off my list. And then I continued to date and I was like, oh, I really like that. I really want him to be like that. And it allowed me to, that inspired action allowed me to immediately recognize my husband when he showed up. And I feel like sometimes it's a little weird how, people say, oh, there's no such thing as love at first sight. But for me, okay, maybe not first sight, but maybe like 5th or 6th. But it really was a matter of I knew it right away. And the moment that I knew it, I talk about in the video of how I manifested my husband. So you definitely want to check that video out. So the key is that the law of attraction does include the words action, right? But what's important to understand is that we're not just forcing it. We're not trying to figure out what action we need to take. We're simply waiting for that inspired action. Now that inspiration might come right away. It might come from a conversation. It might come from after you go to sleep and your brain has had some time to process it. You never really know when that inspired action is going to come. But if you try to force it and you try to figure it out, figure out the how and figure out, what you need to do, you might actually be pushing your manifestation further down the line and kicking the can. And so, I like to think about it, especially when it comes to the way we sleep and dreaming. You've got several layers of sleep, right? You've got your deep sleep, you've got your light sleep, you've got your REM sleep, and obviously when you're awake. So, the deep sleep, and the funny thing is I was just looking at my Fitbit last night and it was explaining to me all these different layers because I was like, well, I'm only in deep sleep for, 15 or 20% of the night. I thought I was supposed to be in deep sleep most of the night. But, you spend actually 40 to 50% of your time in light sleep. And then you spend another around 30% in REM sleep. And that's when you'll have your dream. And REM is the rapid eye movement. That's when you have your dreams and things like that. And so each layer of sleep actually provides a different function. And it's just like that when you're attempting to manifest something or you're using the law of attraction. You know, that deep layer of sleep might be the layer of sleep that you need to clean out all of the old stuff that's been holding you back. And maybe that light layer of sleep is what you need to kind of reprogram your subconscious, or it's what you need to really get clear on, you know, that next step. And then maybe the REM sleep is what allows you to create something new, right? From those dreams. And when we're drawing things out and we're painting a canvas at night. So the same way that there are different levels of sleep, there's different levels of what to do for that inspired action. Sometimes you just need to just sit with it and you need to not do anything and just wait. Sometimes you're going to hear that inspired action and what you need to take. Maybe it'll come to you at night or come to you in a dream, or, you know, maybe it'll come to you while you're on a roller coaster or whatever it is. Or maybe it's a suggestion that a friend makes or something that you've heard or a mentor that you've been speaking to. And speaking of mentors, there was a mentor that I worked with a lot during 2018 and into 2019. And I remember when I worked with her one-on-one, I remember telling her, like, I hear the message really clear through you right now. And so I know that you're the person that I need to work with. And that's how I've been choosing my mentors lately. It's not necessarily who they are or like what they're selling or what they're offering. It's like, how inspired am I and how easy is it for me to hear the true message that I need to hear? And I do feel like, you know, eventually, you know, you can receive that message that you need, that inspired action that you need directly. But sometimes it does need to come through a mentor. I know for my business, you know, for the first couple of years, I really was, you know, I needed to hear that message through a mentor. I needed to hear, like, you need to just be yourself and you need to, you know, don't be afraid to try something new. And all of those messages, the thing that I specifically needed for me, they were coming through this one mentor. So that inspired action could come from anywhere. It could come from your sleep. It could come from a mentor or a friend or someone who suggested it, or it could just come directly from you as a nudge or a thought. Going back to the story of how I manifested my husband, part of my inspired action and my nudge was to get dressed and go to the party, even though I was depressed because I just got dumped, right? And that wasn't anyone saying, hey, Tish, you need to make sure you still get out there. It was just thought that I had. You know, you're going to regret this day if you don't go. And it was absolutely true, because I likely would have regretted it because, you know, everything might not have played out the way that it did. So that's the key when it comes to law of attraction. You don't have to do the work. You need to do this instead, which is waiting for your inspired action to take and listening and being open for that inspired action. What do you do in your manifestation process? Is it something that you think about? Is it something that you do while you're dreaming? Whatever it is, I'd love to hear more about it. Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to get more into this and you'd like some more help and you feel like I'm the mentor for you, then definitely reach out to me. Click the link that's in the description box. I do offer one-on-one private mentoring on a limited basis in my attractive program. And the attractive program helps you to become more attractive in all areas of your life, in your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your mindset, so that you can attract everything that you've ever wanted in your life. So for more details on that, all you have to do is click the link. It'll start a conversation directly with me so we can chat and see if you're a fit for one-on-one mentoring. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.